Thank you for joining us today for the Medical Tourism Association's webinar on 5 expert tricks to building a vibrant medical tourism business, really laser focused around marketing, which I think is really important, even more important than it was before because of the pandemic and the difficulties of how do you market properly, how do you build trust, how do you build a brand, and how do you do it really effectively. And we have Robert Page, who's the founder of Pulse, who is one of the leading technology companies in this space, and I think an expert at marketing in medical tourism. Robert, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan. It's good to be here.
So I'm going to turn it over to Robert in a few minutes to really talk about what works in marketing, what doesn't work. He's experienced it all. And I think sometimes what's really important is finding out what works. What doesn't work is sometimes even more important than knowing what works. And I feel that in the medical tourism industry, there's a lot of repetition of people making the same mistakes and not figuring out how to leapfrog ahead and what is actually effective. One thing I want to share with you, which I think is very important from a brand perspective, is Global Healthcare Accreditation. They're the leading international accreditation body for international patient experience and medical travel services. And one thing that we did over the past 6 months, I think, is we on medicaltourism.com, which is really the leading site globally for both B2B business and B2C consumers for medical tourism, they're now featured on the main page to really educate buyers and patients on the importance of accreditation and being able to receive a great international patient experience. And that's really important because I think people knowing they're traveling safely and having confidence is really important. If you're going to get people to travel during a pandemic and post-pandemic, trust and brand is very important. And for any of you who don't know GHA, Karen Timmons, who is the CEO of Global Healthcare Accreditation, is the former COO of Joint Commission, president of Joint Commission International, and they are really an amazing organization focused on making sure those patients really, I think, in my personal opinion, is coming out as kind of raving fans, making sure that patients are treated like royalty from the moment they inquire to the moment they get back, and making sure the infrastructure is there to deal with international patients, because a lot of organizations that say we're going to do it, they go assign somebody in the marketing department and say, go run international. And they don't think of all the things that actually need to be done to successfully deal with patients. So there's a lot of breakdowns, there's a lot of barriers, there's a lot of mistakes that actually happen. And then you move on to the next phase, which Robert's going to be talking about, is then also they don't know how to market. And for us, what's been very important is just breaking down the barriers in medical tourism. It's super important to me. One thing that really reinforced me around Pulse just recently, it happens all the time, is dealing with a provider in Latin America where I was getting a second opinion for a family member for a medical condition they might travel for, and just dealing with the payment process for the consult. It was all problematic with language, with payment currency, with the instructions. It was multiple emails, multiple WhatsApps, multiple logging into the portal, and then seeing, hey, I ended up paying $1, not the $45 for a consult. And just because it wasn't easy, because we constantly are putting up barriers to patients, and we think they're just going to come to us and receive treatment for us with all these barriers. And we also don't realize what we're doing wrong and how we're dealing with and handling patients. One thing I do want to share is, GHA has accredited, really what I consider the leading organizations in medical tourism, whether it's Cleveland Clinic, whether it's Cedars-Sinai, whether it's Bumrungrad, which is the biggest hospital in Asia and the most successful medical tourism hospital, I think, in the world. And some of these organizations went through the accreditation during the pandemic because they know this is a core industry. It's going to get back on track. And it's all about dealing with the patient perspective, the provider perspective, but also even the buyer perspective, because GHA is working with a lot of insurance companies and other global buyers who, for them, when they implement medical tourism, everything needs to go smoothly. They're not going to take any chances of things not going smoothly. As an example, with larger buyers too, they're not going to want to move forward if you don't have a technology solution in place. That's another important aspect of one of the things that Robert's company does is no insurance company, no large buyer moving a lot of patients is going to say, we trust you to handle our patients and provide a great patient experience, but please manage our patients in Microsoft Excel and paper and pen and in your international patient department's person's personal email address. It just doesn't work, whether it's the privacy, whether it's the issues or the breakdowns, legal compliance. The industry needs to mature. And I think that with the pandemic also breaking down the issue of how people connect, going to conferences, meeting people in person, it's tougher. Pulse is really this disruptive technology. I consider it like the Uber of medical tourism that brings all the stakeholders together into this ecosystem that makes it easy to do the medical tourism business, which is the most important thing we do. And so I really wanted to invite Robert to come on board to talk about, how do you market? What have they seen, to provide guidance and insight to everyone? Because at the end of the day, you've got the issue of how do you brand your hospital and how do you, how can you be trusted? And then how do you go out and take that message out where you're actually going to get results? And I think that what we need to shift for is 2022 and beyond. Let's focus on real results and long-term results, not short-term thinking. So with that, I'd love to turn it over to Robert.
Thank you, Jonathan. That's a great intro. I appreciate it. And just to touch on one point you made earlier, how important trust is, and especially with the pandemic and how it's really shifted the way we engage. There's nothing more true there. Trust is 100% of the entire experience here. The only patients that are going to book without absolute amount of trust are the patients that don't have a very high risk profile. Most patients are not as experienced and exposed to the world. They've not been to the country that you're marketing. They have a lot of needs. This is the highest consideration item that exists on the internet. You'll never purchase anything more that will require more consideration and trust. So the more that you can do toward investing time and energy toward building that trust, the better you will be building a bridge into growing your pipeline of patients. So he talked a bit about marketing and brand. Really, what I want to focus on today is what we call life cycle marketing, and that's really the whole spectrum of the patient process. So much of our energy and attention is spent just on lead generation. But if that's where you're focusing all of your energy and effort, you're missing the other side of it all. And that's really on loyalty and retention. People look at, if you think of a doctor's office, maybe a doctor's office in Los Angeles here, Cedars-Sinai, when they're dealing with their local patients, they have the local community. They have billboards. People know of the hospital. They know there's a community aspect here, and it's easier to build your reputation, your value. You have a small base of patients, and you do some marketing, and you do good work, and people come back to you. And that's really the model. And eventually, 3, 4 years, 5 years later, these doctors no longer really need to do very much marketing, especially if they're good doctors, and they have this base of loyal customers. With medical travel, so much energy is focused on that initial stage of getting the patients. That's the hardest part. You could do yourself a big favor by spending energy on the rest of it. Once they're there, keep them coming back, create that loyalty, that retention, help them to help you to reach out to their community and to bring people back through, because patients can come back a second and third time. They can bring their friends and family. And that right there's the big opportunity that I want to discuss today and communicate with you as well. So I'm going to be focusing on these 5 points throughout the presentation. I'm going to talk about how you can increase your marketing conversions by 300%. Sounds lofty, but there are some simple tweaks that you can make here. I'm going to show you how you can double your conversion of patients when you're trying to talk with them and getting them to book with you. So much that has to do with trust as well. And timeliness. Talk about how you can help to increase your ROI on a per patient level. So again, so much focus and energy on that one patient, but bringing them back, even while they're there, you have the opportunity to offer them other services some ancillary services that might actually be of great value to them, but also give the opportunity for you to show off other doctors, other options that your hospital offers. And also how to use technology. This is a key thing for me. I run a technology company. Marketing is really a secondary thing for us. Our primary focus is technology, and we learned that our partners needed some more support when it came to marketing. So we built this whole program that we've been doing for years. And then next, really how to build this predictable month-over-month revenue. And that's really the key to this whole thing, is being able to build enough momentum and build up your pipeline to where you can kind of know how much money you're going to make each month, which will allow you to make core decisions with your business as to who am I going to hire, what investments should we make on the marketing side or on the business side. So getting that predictable revenue month over month is really key. And I guess I should probably say just one other thing is, who am I and why should you trust me? Well, what's my experience here? Well, I've been in this industry for nearly 21 years, believe it or not. I've written and published books to the industry. I've built over 3 different companies, offline, online, digital, B2C, B2B companies in this industry and technology. I've made 21 years of mistakes that if you're newer to the industry, even if you've had 5 or 6 years, potentially I could help you minimize those mistakes by just having this call. And I'm also happy to talk with people as well in person or in private meetings, and I can help you get there. So hopefully this is what we'll accomplish at the end of this webinar today. This is the way that we view, in my experience of talking with different doctors, hospitals, inpatient medical tourism companies, what people are doing. So most people are, again, investing in AdWords, SEO, content marketing, social media. If you're not even doing this, well, then you're a little bit even further behind. This over here is really what people are not doing, and I'll go more into that more toward the end of the presentation. I'll break it down a bit more for you. So today, most medical professionals, most doctors, hospitals, coordinators, again, investing in AdWords, social media, SEO, content marketing. Now, if you're investing in just AdWords alone, you have an ad that you just paid for. It cost you money, anything from $20 to $100 US dollars, and you've just spent money for an ad to get people to come to learn more about your offering. Okay, so this is just the ad right there on hip replacement. What is the next step? Where should they go? Where should you send them? Okay, most people, and that sounds like a dumb question, most people want to send the patient to their website. Yeah, of course, send them to our website. That's where I want them to go. They're going to see how great we are, our position in the market. They're going to see this value. We have a nonprofit. We have everything. And the problem with websites is that websites are everything of your company. It's your entire store, the whole thing. Okay, and at the website level, there's a million places they can click, a million places they can go. And really, if everything seems important here, because there is no separation. If everything's important, then nothing's important, and your patient's not going to know where to go. So they were looking for hip replacement, yet now they're suddenly on this website that talks about find a doctor, locations. There's nothing to do with hip replacement here, and we know that people have a very short attention span on the internet. If they don't get what they want right away, they're gone. Okay, so websites are great for branding, but they're not great for conversion. At this stage, we're not trying to sell them on your brand. We're not trying to even get them to buy a hip replacement. We're just trying to get a phone call, an opportunity to discuss with them the opportunity of working with you. So it's really simplify it. Boil it down to the simple thing. You're just trying to get them to give you their information. Okay, so here's an example. This is a landing page that represents a dental surgeon in San Jose del Cabo, Mexico. And this is one of the ones we built. So instead of sending patients to these websites, send them to a landing page. 300% conversion improvement just by sending them here, because right away, I'm looking for a dental implant, okay, in Mexico of all places. And this is exactly what I'm getting right away. It's a dental implant. I don't have anything else. There's no other navigation on this entire page. They can't leave anywhere else. They can't find themselves down a rabbit hole. If that's what you were advertising, you spent money on dental implants, give them dental implants. That's all they really wanted right now. You'll have an opportunity to go further with that. And then here, really, all we really want is their phone number, their email, their name, and then you can move on from there. Everything on this page is just about branding, validation, credibility. Give them what you need to give them to get them to give you their phone number. Okay. Next, the most important thing after that, and I'd say probably the biggest increase in your conversion rate improvement will be in your timely response to these patients. This isn't really a marketing thing, but since marketing and sales go hand in hand, I feel it's important to communicate this. If you call a patient, okay, lost that page. If you get a lead that comes in, you need to call that patient within 5 minutes. I'm bouncing. You need to call that patient within 5 minutes, because every single 5 minutes that passes from the moment that you actually get that lead, you're losing the opportunity to qualify them. Okay. In fact, you're 21 times less likely to qualify a patient 30 minutes after the call was made versus within 5 minutes. Why? That's because at the moment I'm at my computer and I'm putting in my desire to get a hip replacement or a dental implant or cancer screening, whatever it be. 5 minutes passes, I'm off, out of my house. I'm walking my dogs. I'm going to take a nap. I'm back to work. I've turned my computer off. I'm no longer thinking about that. Or I might even be on the phone with a competitor of yours. So you need to make sure that you have the team that's capable of handling that patient in that patient's language. That person, that nurse, or that dental coordinator, medical coordinator actually has the knowledge of the actual procedure that they're looking into, and that they're available at that moment to call them. Okay. So you might want to time your marketing, your ad spend, or whatever it be, to sync up with when a person is available to make those phone calls. Okay. It sounds great. I know your marketing person is going to want you to like, oh yeah, but we get the best conversion rates at 3 a.m. Well, if you're not there to answer the phone and call these patients at 3 a.m, it's just a vanity metric. You're going to get some great numbers, but conversion rates are going to be really low. So you need to make sure that the person that's there handling those phone calls is available when the marketing is being done. Otherwise, you're wasting your money. Okay. Next over here, something that's really important. We call this a drip sequence, a nurture sequence, email patient, nurture sequence, whatever you want to call it. This is something essentially that you need to be doing. It takes anything from 1 month to 6 months or even longer to book a patient. I'd say the average is probably 2 months to get them to go from the phone call to booking, paying their deposit, or maybe even getting the surgery. So during that time, you need to be in front of them. You need to get them to remember who you are. It takes on average 8 viewings of a brand to actually get conviction. So this is your perfect opportunity. They've already requested a quote. They've already requested to learn more about you and your company or your offering, your medical services, whatever. You've got their email. To send out, deploy an email once every 3 or 4 days about your practice. If you're a doctor, why we're a great orthopedic surgery practice, what our patients think of us, give them testimonials. How safe is our process? What does our step-by-step look like? What is involved with our medical procedures? If you're a medical tourism company, what types of services do we offer? How do we support you? How do we make sure you're being taken care of from beginning to end? What are our qualifications? Our testimonials, et cetera. So this is really just a great opportunity to get your brand in front of them. They might not even read the email, okay? But the fact is, when they open their inbox and they look in their email, they're going to see there's an email in there from your company, okay? And they might just delete it, but they'll remember again, and you're in their view, and that's really important there. So email really is king. It's #1 way to get patients to convert in the medical space. Just an amazing opportunity, and it takes time to build these things. You have to, maybe hire MailChimp or OmniSend or one of these different companies. You got to build them and feel the triggers and storage and everything else. But it's a good investment. It just takes time, as all this will. Next really this is where on the technology side, and this is really my strength, our company's strength, in addition to marketing, is just you need to have a great system in place to handle process management, to handle automation, for secure storage. To Jonathan's point, if you're going to work with a hospital and their patients, are they going to feel comfortable with you handling these things on Microsoft and using WhatsApp or text for your patients? Emails get lost. Just a patient sends you a comment, I take this medication for my heart, and it gets lost in the shuffle. The doctor doesn't see it. You have a complication at worst. even worse than that. So you really want to make sure that you're using a CRM that keeps everything in one place. It's contained, it's secure, no chance for data breaches, no chance for dropping the ball with your clients. So I can't emphasize this enough. There's dozens, hundreds of CRMs that are out there. Make sure you get one that's HIPAA, GDPR compliant, and really that has a ton of integrations that will allow you to integrate with your phone, with your video, with your payment gateway, with your analytics dashboards, et cetera, email marketing, whatever. There's a lot of different things out there. So you have to do a lot of research and take some time. They can cost anything from $300 on the low to $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 a month for a good CRM. And really, lastly, what I really want to share is just, one of the other things here is just how important it is to consider loyalty and retention. This is the thing I mentioned at the very beginning. Is one thing is doing the marketing. Next thing is getting your patients to convert. But once they've converted, these are people that love you. You won them over because they were expecting less, maybe, or they weren't expecting to have such an amazing opportunity or amazing solution for them. They were underserved in their local population, their local country, and you helped them. Took a lot of trust to get them to join you, to go with you, and to trust your doctors or your option. They finally gone, and now they're back home. They've had an amazing experience. They've saved a bunch of money, or they've just had the better medical care better medical services they've ever received in their life. This is an opportunity for you to show them that you're there, and to keep on showing the care and get them to come back, really. So to me, post-op support is fundamental. It's one of the biggest problems with medical tourism is that the doctor that did your surgery is not the doctor that's going to be giving you the post-op support afterward. You'll be back home in your hometown, and your doctor there might not know what happened in the host country where they did the surgery. So it's your job really to make sure that you send out questions, do phone calls, or reach out to the patient, and even send an email sequence inviting the patient to give you feedback on their experience. Okay, obviously clicking back into the CRM, and you don't want this information to be on their email. I also recommend that you offer them a referral program. Sounds crazy, but you pay a patient $250 to refer you to a friend of theirs. That's probably way less expensive than it is for you to do lead generation through AdWords or whatever else, because in AdWords you have a smaller percentage of patients that actually opt in, whereas a patient that went through you, that refers you to a friend or family, they're going to trust you. That's the best way. Referrals are everything. So it's worth paying a bit of money to get those referrals. Better use of your investment on the marketing side. Newsletters are key as well. Just don't do them too often. I'd say once a month, once every quarter, maybe twice a year, whatever you feel is comfortable. Send out a newsletter, let them know how your practice is going, or how your medical tourism company is doing, your facilitator company. Give them options. Here is a discount we have for the month of July if you want to come down and do a cancer screening or whatever else. We're promoting a new doctor. We have some new solutions. Just a nice way to keep in touch with them. And again, keeping that newsletter in their inbox. So maybe they don't open that email from you, but 6 months down the road or 6 years down the road, a friend of theirs is going to say, hey, didn't you go down to Argentina to get that medical procedure done? And they'll say, yeah, what's the doctor's name? I don't remember, but if that email newsletter comes in once every 3 months or once every 6 months, they may never read it. They may just delete it, but your brand will be in their inbox, and they can forward that to their friends. So great opportunity for you just to continue maintaining that relationship and keeping them loyal and retaining their customers over time. Reviews, so important. You live and die by them. You have to get reviews. Patients need reviews. Collect them. Be diligent about it. Do follow-up. And if the reviews are bad, sometimes you got to post them. But I'd try to reach out to the patient and see if there's a way you can solve the problem, and maybe it just was a misunderstanding. This is really the whole picture of what we consider to be key in marketing. This is the whole life cycle marketing program, really. You really want to take the patient through, nurture them, qualify them, book them, then eventually they're part of your legacy, your database. This is your pipeline of patients that continuously will just grow and grow and grow. Okay, these are patients that have had surgery with you, patients that have not, but they were interested in the first place. They thought about it, they didn't go. So that database just continues to grow. keep that. That is your gold. Okay, that's your pot of gold, and continue to use it smartly. Don't abuse that list. Every once in a while, you can send an email off or a newsletter, invite them to come back for second and third procedures, and invite them to encourage their community to look at your services and what you're offering. And really, just overall, as a summary, this really just helps you to get more value out of your marketing spend, to increase your patient conversion, earn more money for every patient that comes down. At the same time, it's not just about money. You're providing more services, which is key, and providing those services is going to get loyal customers, and they'll get to see and experience more of your offering. I've had patients, in the past that would say, "Oh, I did hip replacement. I didn't realize you guys also did dental. I would have totally reached out to you before. I got some dental work done." And so you really want to make sure you get that out there in front of them. They don't assume that they know that you do everything or that you do this, that, and the other. Make sure that you communicate all the different variables. I know it's difficult because obviously you can't communicate everything. You have to be selective. So just get them what you want them to see. Generate predictable revenue, build a stable pipeline. These are all just part of what we communicated today. The last thing I'll say is, I get it. You're busy. You've got a million things already on your plate. I've had doctors tell me, "Oh yeah, I've wanted to do this for a long time now. I just haven't had the time," or "I built out a landing page, but we didn't really do anything else after that," or "I didn't really know what else to do." This is what we do. This is what we do every day. I've got a whole team of people working with me. We are primarily a technology company. We offer a comprehensive technology solution that engages patients from CRM, pipeline management, payment gateway, a comprehensive analytics and accounting system that will allow patients or patient coordinators, hospitals, doctors, patient facilitation companies to see really where their leads are, how they're doing. Really today, it's been a black box industry up to now. And this is really why we built, we built, and that's to create more visibility into your businesses. The things I've always wanted for years, and I finally built it with my team. We provide a communication center, phone, telehealth, SMS. All this is all comprehensive in the system. It's a data encrypted, secure platform. You don't use email. Everything is done within the system. So for those of you that are interested to work with our technology, we don't charge the thousands of dollars per month in subscription that you'll see with any other CRM that you use. We're really interested in partnering with you. So we only make money if you make money. So if a patient goes through our platform, you can create your account on Pulse today for free. We only charge once a patient books, and it's a minimal fee compared to what you'll experience if you actually pay a monthly subscription with a CRM. And then as far as our marketing goes, we built this to help our partners using our technology. So we would only build this marketing solution for people that are actually utilizing our technology. But we can build this. There's a subscription fee we offer for this, and we can discuss this. We have different levels that you can purchase. You can have an introductory test fee, and you can go as high as an enterprise solution for large companies. We build out newsletters. We build out email sequences, post-op, affiliate program, and of course, multiple landing pages depending on the market you're targeting and depending on what types of procedures you're promoting. So if you want to learn more, I'm Robert. My email is robert@pulseprotocol.com. And you can also reach us at the website, pulseprotocol.com, and you can reach out there directly. There's more information, videos you can watch. I'm here to support the community. I've been for years and years doing this. It's what I do. I've dedicated my life to it. And I enjoy pushing forward, just like Jonathan and Renee Marie, I enjoy pushing forward the medical tourism industry. So I'm here to support you in whatever level I can. And that's it. I really do appreciate your time and hope you learned something today. Thank you.